Thank you so much, Alice.
That was awesome.
I guess we all better go back to the woodshed. And the only person I could think of, the only poet on the planet I think could follow is something like that, Mr. Mike G. Welcome him back to Ghost Town.
Good job, Ellis. Tough act to follow. You give me hope that the next generation of poets are out there and alive and doing your thing. Thank you. Inspiring. It's been 6 months since I've been here. It's good to be back in a place where I see so many faces I love this place. My work schedule doesn't always let me come. I'm happy to be here. Happy New Year. In other news, I have a new girlfriend. Her name is Brenda, and she made the mistake of becoming Facebook friends with me, so she'll be watching the video as soon as Tiffany posts it. So I would like to address a few words to her personally. Brenda, my friends and fans around the world are grateful that the Mike G's found a very nice human being to have sex with. Lots of sex with. Thank you, Brenda. This is for you. Brenda! Yeah! My friends, I've left T.S. Eliot's skeleton in the elevator. Fuck him! The Kraken holds on as she crushes, blind to the subject-object distinction that makes love precious, different than mere food. The poet claws at the false wallpaper of the whole shebang. After many layers, the bleeding nubs rub a bit of truth. They've made me a catatonic little gargoyle, precariously perched near the outhouse hole. Right about this, they say. Someday I'll plop into a puddle outside of McDonald's, making little explosion noises. When the News Channel 8 helicopters fly by, I'll say, butta, 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 taka, taka, taka. I've made a hand puppet I can go on with so I don't kill myself before my parents die. How's that load you've been carrying, Mike G? The puppet says, heavy, I say. Then I tilt my head back and laugh. A little girl witnessed and asks her mom, what's that strange man laughing at? Nothing, let's go, her mom says. There was a rock for her mouth where the kiss should have been. There was a rock for her mouth where the kiss should have been. Maybe our holograms can say the hard things. Maybe our holograms can be happy. Maybe our holograms won't crush each other as they flicker in and out of love. Maybe our holograms, may they not be slaves to anguish and rage. May our holograms know the peace of sleeping like dead holograms. Shine a beam through hologram me. See the history of poetry revealed for you. I am also love. We didn't catch the wind. We didn't catch the fire. The red letters to God flew from our hands. Time passes. Pain gathers. Just hanging out mostly with that Big Mac rapper I've grown to love because it hasn't left me yet. I think of the onion and what the layers mean. Our default is exhaustion. Do I smell good? She says. I want to suck your thumb, I say. Every day I resist the urge to curl up into a ball and whimper to the universe, don't hurt me, don't hurt me. I've decided to start kicking you, the 10-year-old neighbor girl says, randomly and just because. I'm most present when the idiocy of the mind's ideas recedes. These leaves stuck to my shoes are my companions in suffering. Your punch through my hologram is unfelt. My punch goes through you unfelt. See how we don't hurt each other? My fantasy is being a medieval farmhand who can't read and always busy. Before collapsing into a thoughtless sleep, I see the moon and say, ooh, pretty. Splashing in my McDonald's puddle now, chained to my vomit, there is freedom in thinking it means something nice. Do not despair, I say to the dark, I'll write light. A little girl passes the cave, sees the puppet's mouth flapping, me laughing. Sometimes I'm a hand gripping the edge of a pit, naked rest of me dangling above the nothingness. My feet are cold. I consider the hand. It's a good hand. It's always hanging on. Why does it hang on when it could just let go and be done with the hanging? It hurts to hang on. It can't hang on. It hangs. And now the cold wind and now the wet. It's in danger hanging there when it always hangs, pretending strength so no one worries. Little hand in my room on my shaft, losing its grip. Existence and Christmas are up in the air again, but like the stars are, so not so bad. Love was always the wheezing train, attempting and failing the hill. Meanwhile, I imagine sucking on a dinosaur bone, maybe the horn of a triceratops who felt free on an infinite plane, or the tooth of a T-Rex who got all A's and what it all means. David Bowie peeks his little ears out of the labyrinth. Look at me, I'm in heaven. In 2 minutes, 23 seconds, she'll be mine. I'm bound to a stake, my turn on the firing line. Naked and flaccid in the night, my eager executioners are the vampires I've loved, whom I've begged to feed from me and make me one of them. I'm tired now, ready to join T.S. Eliot in oblivion. Blindfold, no. Cigarette, yes, are my requests. Each is wearing red, white, and blue Uncle Sam hot pants and T-shirts bearing an image of me, praying to an image of myself, crucified at Ank's gallery, beneath which is written, go to fucking hell, Mike G. My friend Dennis holds a beer to my lips, says, well done, my good and faithful poet, forever crushed by the female power. I'll say nice things at your memorial. Frank Sauce will host. No! Sauce is an asshole! In 2007, he told Robin I had diarrhea of the mouth. He was right! Robin says, your writing was sloppy, still is. Get lunar, I say! Dennis walks away. Meanwhile, Joseph Campbell Ram Dass descend in a mist of dementia, following their bliss, jacking off to their own bestsellers. My ex-wife Sarah revs the engine on a boat called Poet Boner Killer. Jesus, Buddha, and the whole panoply of gods appear to lead my beloveds in a cheer. Go to fucking hell, Mike G. Go to fucking hell, Mike G. Go to fucking hell, Mike G. No confused feelings in this extremity. No judging a vampire for what it does for money. I ask the shooters to scoot up a bit so they don't miss and feel bad about it. I instruct them to wear face shields so the brain gook doesn't get on them. I shake their hands, embrace them. I understand. I whisper to each that each is great. I'm specific in my worship as love should always be. Good job! Good effort! I say as they take aim. Tell truth, tongue first, be brave. They fire and whiff. My cigarette puffing away sadly. Several start crying. I provide gentle therapy to repair their injured self-esteem, to shore them up for the next attempt. Love, suicide wish. You taking notes, Tommy? My vampire's reloading, approaching. I am smiling so hard my face hurts. Come on, free me from this holographic misery. Stick me in the fucking face and fire. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike G. Please say hello to Alex Vique. Come on up, Alex. Alex, do you want the music stand?
Yes. All right. It seems I've chosen poorly. As far as my poems go, these won't make you laugh at all. They are not fun little stories.
Well, I'm going home.
So I'll be reading two of mine and two of another poet, or one of another poet's.
We love you, Alex.
Thank you. And these are some more of my backwards poems. But I'll be reading them in a way that you can understand. This is called We All Tell Ourselves. I don't miss you, the meat of the melon says to its seeds. I don't miss you, the skin of an old house cat says to its fur. I don't miss you, the hot wine says to the vine and soil. I no longer miss you, the tongue says to the taste of an undeserved pastry. I cannot miss you, the cement says to the strapping man in the reflective vest who poured it. I don't miss you, the shell says to its last gobbled up resident. I don't miss you, the dandruff says to the scalp. I don't miss you, I tell myself while I look at pictures of you that I was not there to take, that I was not next to you in. I don't miss you, my eyes and teeth shout in blinking, chattering unison. This next one is called Closet Ghost. Page of wands sink to the floor, glither along the rug, seek a closet. The first found has no door. You see 6 other cards huddled within, shoving and pushing, trying not to be the bare one closest to the light. Crowded, closets familiar. Gape mouth, swallow seedfuls of germinating carpet. Sow rows to the next patch. Doors this time, knock tense. Once for every time you let the word faggot slip past the tiny protective cilia hairs. Mop the tears rolling from the doorfoot. Plant a seed to soak up the rest. The roots can brace the door jamb. Vines can steal moisture from the door to weaken, but only the trapped hand can open it.
Nice.
And this is a poem by a poet named Jamie Mortara, and this is titled How to Start. Well, at first you must start in the dark. This is one of those things people say like, I am in the dark. But really I mean, shut the lights, turn off the world, sit in the dark and talk to yourself. Say, what am I doing right now? I am starting. I am walking my hands over my body and feeling for any abnormalities. Like this bump was not here earlier, and this scar is normal, but it can't be normal for everybody. And then say, I have this scar because I have this scar. Because I decided it would be a good idea to ride my bike downhill, but let go at the same time. And my arms and my legs were flailing in the wind, and my body was shaking away all balance. And then say, that was not very good. But it was a start, and it is in the dark. And please promise not to look for light. Do not look at any light you may know of. Stay away from the windows, stay away from your phone, and stay away from the clock. All you can allow yourself is the occasional pushing of your eyelids into your eyes so that the sockets into your eye sockets, and watching the yellow, green, red, gray float like galaxies, and maybe that is how you start. Yes, push your eyelids into your eyes, into your sockets, and watch your brain build swirls and television static, and maybe you can rock back and forth for an hour or two inside of it, and then you can take your dark out for a walk. Maybe you can take your dark to parties and tell people about your dark and how it is the only way that you know how to start. Maybe you can buy your dark a drink and ask what it thinks of the swirls and television static inside of it, and maybe you can tell the dark your deepest, darkest secret. The dark certainly wouldn't mind, and maybe this is a good way to start. Tell the dark that you used to love a lot of people and now you're unsure about why. The dark will be able to relate to this, mainly because it is the dark and it has never loved anyone. It is simply how you start. Everyone has to start somewhere, and everyone starts with their eyes closed. Now open them. See how you are surrounded by people, each with a scar like yours. This is a good place to start.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a moment of silence for Lemmy, but I guess when I do that, I need to do one of these. Yeah, so thank you, Lemmy. And I still have to lower this fucking thing. Next, we're going to hear from Russ. Russ, you out there?
Yeah, Russ.
All right, say hello to Russ, everybody.
I have one designated co-conspirator, but you're all welcome to sing along if you feel like it. This is a tribute for the man who fell to earth. Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. Ground control to Major Tom.
9, 8, 7, 6.
Commencing countdown, engines on.
5, 4, 3.
Check ignition, and may God's love be with you.
1.
This is ground control to Major Tom. You really made the grade. And the papers want to know whose shirt you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in a most peculiar way. And the stars look very different today. For here am I sitting in a tin can, far above the world. Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. Though I'm past 100,000 miles, I'm feeling very still. And I think my spaceship knows which way to go. Tell my wife I love her very much, she knows. Ground control to Major Tom, your circuit's dead. There's something wrong, can you hear me, Major Tom? 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 Can you hear? Am I floating around my tin can? Far above the moon. Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. David Bowie.
Yeah.
Thanks, Russ. Next, we're going to hear from Joe Wellman. You still here? Here comes Joe.
Okay, so any poet I've ever heard at the 3 meetings I've been to is an extremely hard act to follow. When I wrote this, I did it in the rain on an empty stomach after drinking a fuck ton of coffee. So basically, so I could let the anxiety kick in and write from a place of worry. Actually, I thought about doing that, or thought it was some silly bullshit, so I decided not to at the last minute. So before I get into my poem, though, there is one thing that you guys should know. I heard a poem about 6 years ago at this meeting, and I heard a poem about 3 or 4 months ago at this meeting, and it happened to be the same poem. Basically, in this room, I have a rival. But he's not like not him personally, but in 1 minute, I kind of had some misplaced butthurt about his poem, and it in no way accurately reflects him. So I don't want you guys to think that this has to do with the person in particular, and I'm probably completely misled. But I'm going to read the poem anyway, because all my other poems were shit. And since this one comes from a place of misplaced butthurt, I think it has some merit because it actually brought out some emotion in me. And I can't make eye contact with the guy, he's here right now. Also, I can't name the poem, it's just gonna be bam, here's the word, and then he'll know. So, here's my poem, and I hope it doesn't offend anybody, sincerely. You use that phrase, but I don't know what you think it is. It could be winter, starvation, a drought, or maybe radiation. I don't know who it is that you have a problem with. I do try to guess at who you are. There's guys like, what are these kids doing with their smartphones and their stupid way of dress? Don't they care about anything? No. They're fucking complacent, apathetic, and sluggish. They're not productive. They're all around fucking useless. And that's fantastic, because that means they're fine. Or starving, one of the two. So that might be you, the guy who thinks that. And then there's this other candidate. He's like, what are these people hungry for? They've got food on their plates, roof over their heads, they've got jobs, they can go to school. Well, he's kind of right. Everything is so good that they can go to their gatherings and they can demand changes that pale in comparison to what they were at one time forced to make. I don't know you or where you come from. I don't assume that you are one of these guys. I'm even wary of a confrontation in which you school me on how much of a badass you are and I sheepishly apologize. Seriously. I do know me. I've donated more to charity than my peers, but for me it was nothing, and my dad got me the job. I've had times where I was worried about falling. I've been homeless, actually I haven't been homeless. I've been couch hopping and worried about being homeless. I don't want to missay that. But I still had people waiting for me with a safety net. And I've been to a combat zone with a mission, on the ground too, and shit happened, but I chose to be there. And that was more like going to a hunting safari with a high-powered rifle, hunting for distant and distracted game, rather than meeting the wolf, with no food, no weapons, and no prayer. You see, I've done everything that's considered honorable, and all the merit for all of it pretty much fell into my lap. I can't find anyone who is lesser than me. They always look like it from a distance, but when you get up close, you see that it's just scars from the wolf's teeth. So who actually deserves to meet the wolf? Those who are already consumed? Those who were just bit? Or those who have never met it? I've got a feeling you might have met the wolf, but I don't understand why you'd wish it upon anybody. So that's it.
So if you've been here for the last hour or so, you might be thinking to yourself, this reading is really a fucking sausage fest, Chris. What the hell is going on? And I was thinking about that, and then I remembered we're here for the Male Forum Show, one of the greatest shows that happens in Vancouver every year. Leah can probably explain better than me because it was Leah's good idea. Here's the way I understand it. We look at the female forum all the time. It's everywhere, especially in art. So I think that she's trying to set the balance of the universe, and of course, no one is going to die as a result of the male-themed art and the many penises before us. So because we are in a gallery, and because I want everyone to support Ang's gallery because I think it's the greatest one that we have here in town, I wanted to point that out in case you hadn't noticed. That there are a bunch of images of men on the wall, and this is an annual show. She does it every year, and it's one of my favorite shows, and some of my favorite people in this community are represented here. So check it out at some point. However, to throw Ghost Town Poetry open mic back into a kind of balance, we have two ladies in a row. So I think that we'll be okay. Everything's gonna be all right. So please say hello to Jan Ice. Get us back on track.
This one is called Faith. As I come to the end of this path I've been following, I find that it doesn't really end. A rope footbridge stretches out before me. I cannot go back. My only option is to continue forward. I look at the well-worn and faded rope that makes up this bridge, tattered, frayed ends where there are bits missing. I stand well back from the edge, where it is anchored to this side of the massive rift. I lean forward to look over into the abyss. It's a long drop down to a jumbled heap of jagged rocks. God help me, I silently pray. Leap of faith, he said. Small as a mustard seed, that's all you need. I don't know if I have enough faith within me, not even a mustard seed worth. With my heart pounding so hard it shakes my body all the way down to my feet, I gingerly step out onto the bridge. It sways with my movement. I grip the rope handrails on both sides with hands that tremble and inch my way out onto this treacherous passage. Again, the bridge sways. Deep in, slowly let it out. Take one more step. Wait for the bridge to stop moving. Repeat. The safety of the solid ground ahead of me remains a distant goal. I don't look down. Just keep looking forward at the solid ground that is miles from my current position. My arms and legs begin to shake even harder from all this tension. Again, the bridge moves. Calming breath, quiet the nerves. Steady now, just keep moving. I repeat to myself, breathe in, slowly let it out, take one more step, wait for the bridge to stop moving. Repeat. Don't look down. Behind me, the solid path recedes one footstep at a time. The distant beginning of the new path I am striving for creeps slowly closer, one painful inch at a time. Faith in, fear out. Take another step. Pause for the motion to cease. Don't look down. Look only at what awaits you ahead. It becomes a chanted prayer. Faith in, fear out. Take a step, breathe. Don't look down.
Nice.
Would it help you if I lowered the music stand in any way? No? Are you uncomfortable right now? I want you to be comfortable.
I'm really uncomfortable with the conversation.
I'll lower it just a little. How's that?
Okay, and next we're going to hear from Rhonda Grace. Come on up, Rhonda.
Hello, I am in the gallery of male form. I love the male form. And I really love music, and this one is called All That Jazz. Smooth jazz, cool blue, blended rhythms. Feel my soul, feel it take hold. My body beats, sways, an oasis fills my spirit. Tap, slide, glide against the floor. Bend like a willow, jig and style step. Rhythm flows. I am that rhythm's heartbeat. Jazz sax rejuvenates. Breath of my soul, I've got that rhythm. All that jazz. Thank you.
When I first came out to the Northwest from the East Coast and looked around and saw all the beards, I figured I'd be doing pretty good. And in fact, you know, the longest period of time that I was out of work was when I was first out here. And one of the things I did, as you do, was cut my hair to see if I could get into it. No one would talk to me. And one of the reasons they wouldn't talk to me was because I was fucking miserable without my hair, you know? So I grew it back and then I became employed once again. So please welcome the most valuable beard here at Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic, Bruce Hall. Come on up. Bring that beautiful beard up here.
For celebrating his birthday, I've got one by William Stafford here to lead off with. It's Once in the 40s. We were alone one night on a long road in Montana. It was in winter, a big night, far to the stars. We had hitched, my wife and I, and left our ride at the crossing to go on. Tired and cold, but brave, we trudged along. This, we said, was our life, watched over, allowed to go where we wanted. And we came back, and we said we'd come back sometime when we got rich. We'd leave the others and find a night like this, whatever we had to give, and no matter how far, to be so happy again. And this is one I wrote the other night in Chris's class. I take his class a lot. I think I'm a lunatic now. So.
Quite possible.
Yeah. They climbed the rock crag mountain. There a man, long beard, long looks, long in the tooth. We have come to seek knowledge. Please tell us what you know. The long in the tooth man stares across the canyon. Buzzards dance their circle dance, tipping wings up and down, going round and round and round. They ask again with less mild voices. We have come seeking knowledge. Please tell us what you know. The long in the tooth man stares at the buzzards, uttering silence. They scream, we have climbed this rock pile mountain so you can tell us what you know. The long in the tooth man sighs, the buzzards are not circling over me, so I have not died and gone to hell. I came here, a young man, a clean-shaven man, asking the same questions you ask, but to a different long-in-the-tooth man. He told me to listen a while. The mountain, the wind, the buzzards will tell you what I know. All these years I have listened to the mountain, the wind, and the buzzards. They haven't told me a damn thing yet. That is what I know.
Woo!
Thanks, Bruce. I just want to remind you all that if any of you would like to volunteer to help us out to greet people for National Unpublished Writers Day, January 31st, 12:30 to, for 2-hour shifts, 12:30 to 5 at the library. We have a sign-up sheet at the back of the room, and if you have time to volunteer that day, we'd really appreciate it. Next, we're going to hear from Jim Martin. Come on up, Jim.
You have better hair.
I shaved mine off in 1972, and Dries looked at me and she said, "God, put it back on." So I did. And I really enjoy not having to shave. I don't do any shave at all. Not since 1970, except for that one time. Yeehaw. I have one here that is about something that I wrote about some years ago, and I'm kind of picking it up again, slow but sure. Title is Call and Response. Somewhere down here you have to know a little bit about tap. Some words may not make sense, but they do if you've taken tap. Blue, how do you arrive? Filter in, slip past my guard, into my heart, damp the hope glowing there. I flow through the air, past your skin, follow the scent to your hidden pain. Oh, once there I blot your sun with my rain, rain, rain. Why, Blue? Why? Because no 3-beat riff happy tips. I move on, thrown thirds. Tack down your soul, then shuffle off to Buffalo. Blue, I'll sing a blue note, then go. So my goal is to get some of those that I can tap to. And I don't know how that's going to work. This one has a title. I'm still working on it, but I'm reading it. Transformation. Petal drops from a flower, lies alone. Its veins shine, shape precise, a symbol. Another petal falls, rests nearby, then another. How many petals before the flower transforms itself into an impressionistic image of color?
Thank you, Jim. Next, we're going to hear from Bob Sunshine. Bob, are you here?
Oh, dear.
It's coming up on the floor there.
Stand by that.
Don't say the battery's low. That just ain't right. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. It looked good in the mirror today. I didn't know what to do for the rest of the day. All right, here we go. All fingers point out, slayer, perhaps only obeyer. The nays found down there, impaired. Guess who equals MC squared? You better believe it, man. Listen closely, deja vu. Law books labeled soft tissue. 8'4" Goliath stood. Each rock picked up, God made good. Oh, you better believe he did. Oh yeah, we ain't joking. Oh no. Me Kimosabi, we remember that show. With mask. Looks like Tonto hit the flask. Ties on 6 guns, silver nays. Time Lone Ranger, shadow plays. No one knew I made a mistake, I'm sorry. No one knew. That's right, we make mistakes. No one knew except Deckhand. Would not listen, Peter Pan. Captain Hook with deuces wild. Tinker Bell, meanwhile, with child. Oh yeah, why else? Come on. At least you might think once more. Every other thought, trapdoor. Deeper depths. Drank down dirt drain. Oh, we got to get over here. Guess they didn't like Cook's champagne. All right, here we're going to do. We're going to do it a little faster, and I'm out of here. But let me tell you, backwards is better because it wasn't meant to be. Guess they didn't like Cook's champagne, deeper depths, drank down dirt drain, every other thought trapdoor, at least you might think once more. Tinker Bell, meanwhile, with child, Captain Hook with deuces wild. Would not listen, Peter Pan, no one knew except Deckhand. Time Lone Ranger shadow plays, tries on 6-gun silver nays. Looks like Tonto hit the flask, me Kimosabi with mask. I like that one. Each rock picked up, God made good. That's right, we're going backwards, aren't we? Yeah. 8'4" Goliath stood. Oh, I'm scared. Law books labeled soft tissue, don't ever get hit from behind. Listen closely, deja vu, that's right. And the last one, and have a great night. What a venue, huh? What a venue. I don't know how he got in here, though. This one right here is sort of out of place, but I like it. I may buy it. I may buy it and add something to that painting. That's right, I may. Guess who equals MC squared, right? We want to know. It wasn't Einstein. The nays found down there impaired, perhaps only O'Bear. Have a good night, as I say, all fingers point out Slayer. Thank you. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh, thank you, sir! Thank you! What happened? Oh, God! Oh, babushka time! I gotta do babushka! Oh.
Okay, Mr. Mike Shank? Mike, are you here? Mike? Don't be afraid. Okay, Mike's not here.
The kids get it.
Angeline.
Mike at home. I don't know.
I know, I don't think so, Bob. It's all right, you sit down. Angeline, come on up. Welcome back.